now it's in your bloodstream and it is just circulating your entire body. So that's also part of the fear, but I should just get it done.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
So,
same with like doctors. Like if something goes wrong, I'm always pretty reluctant to actually go to a doctor unless I'm...
No.
Like unless I'm like, oh, I'm fucking dead.
What's the difference between an irrational fear and a rational fear?
I'm like I think an irrational... for me, an irrational fear is like the doctor's a good example because...
He's there to help you.
They're there to help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like irrational... let's think of... I need to think of a good like rational fear.
Irrational fear would be like...
Irrational fear would be like going to prison and being scared you're going to get beaten up.
Yeah, because that's probably going to happen.
Chances are pretty high.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Or like not knowing how to swim, but going on a really dingy boat across the ocean and being scared of drowning.
That's irrational.
That's pretty rational, you know?
Okay, I get
I feel like there's better examples. I'm thinking of really like convoluted examples to do this.
It's fine. We understand.
Like being scared of burning your tongue on your morning coffee.
Well, that's just happens. It's
That's
part
what
of
I mean.
life.
But it's rational.
It's actually the happiest moment of my day. If I could bring it back to our original topic.
But yeah, I'm like a bit of a loser in that regard. Like I should just go get my skin checked. And like I keep looking up places to go and then not going.
Yeah.
But like I should just do it. It's also like I don't really want to just get naked in front of someone to check my balls and shit, you know?
I enjoy that.
How many prostate exams have you had?
0, but I can't wait.
I actually asked my doctor once. I was like, do I need to do that?
No,
and
that's not how you said it. You're like, doc, I was wondering if you could just sort of finger me, actually.
No, I asked the doctor. I was like, oh, like, do I need to like do like prostates and shit? And he was like, nah.
You'll be right.
Yo, how old are you? 25? You're good. And I was kind of like, I don't know. I kind of wasn't sure. I thought like maybe he was just avoiding shoving his finger in my bum.
Did you sort of feel like a teenage girl who had just been rejected from her first kiss?
Yeah, like kind of. I felt like a teenage girl who'd like just offered herself on a silver platter to some dude, and he just went, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, maybe in another 15 years.
It's like my doctor looked at me and went, I can do better.
Yeah, I don't need to get up in that ass. I wish I hadn't said that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Immediate regret. I'm trying to think of some, but honestly, I think my fears are mostly rational. I suppose.
It's like people who are like afraid of flying. Like in my mind, that's a
rational fear.
No, it's pretty irrational, just based on the statistics. But like, if it happens, it'd be way worse than most things.
I don't know about irrational fear, but I have something like this. Like, so I work at a factory where we make gelato, roast coffee beans and stuff. And I'm...
Oh, whoa. I
that too?
I work at a place like that.
Holy shit, man.
Fuck. I actually cover for a guy that looks just like you.
It's usually around the
time... But he wears glasses.
It's usually around the time we record these podcasts, actually.
Fuck.
So it's our responsibility. Oftentimes we'll be the last one out. To make sure the big freezer that holds thousands of dollars worth of high class Govinda gelato. And if that freezer door's left open, the chefs told me they'll find my body in there. So I have this like irrational fear where I'll do like 3 laps of the factory, double and triple checking every single door, making sure. Even like I'll get in the car, start the engine, be halfway out the driveway, and I'll stop, go back in and check all the doors again. Is that an irrational fear? Like,
no,
it's like just a
no, because I work
thing.
there too, and I'd be terrified of getting slaughtered and put in that freezer.
Oh,
so
they won't fucking find pieces of us. We'd be in the gelato. We would be.
Oh no! I was expecting just like a leg over here, an arm over here, the head just on the top shelf, looking at the door. You know?
Wow. So I don't know. Yeah, like that's I guess an irrational fear that I have.
I had another irrational fear that I thought of just then, and then I lost it because you were talking. It was really distracting, actually.
I sort of have a way with words. It's really good that I'm a podcaster because I'm really good with my words.
You're terrible with your words, but you love the sound of your own voice.
I'm quite verbose, actually. Have you ever heard of that word? I like to think of this as audio wanking.
Should we have a podcast, like an hour-long podcast, where we just compliment ourselves? Like, we take turns complimenting, like, just, I'll compliment me, you compliment you.
Yeah, but never crossover.
We never cross over. No, with a good maybe 10-second gap in between, just so we can let it sit with the listeners.
The more I think about it, I wish we'd called this podcast Audio Wank.
Well, I actually don't even hate that. Though I think some people might confuse it with like an audio porn thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where,
We
like,
could do that too. Kind of like...
well, we just do your best porn noise.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh, you're doing the man.
I was thinking more we could do like the jerk-off instruction.
Or the, like, jerk-off motivation or whatever.
What was it? Rakic was telling us about this. Or was it Korn?
I lose track. They're both fucking sick.
They are deviants in every sense of the word.
I had an irrational fear. I thought of it, and I can't even remember. Oh, like, it would be like, FOMO?
Fear of missing out for anyone.
Yeah, like, that's an irrational fear.
Like,
oh no, like, I've got to go to this party because, like, I don't want to miss out on something fun that happens.
it's funny, I really don't have that. Like, I'm the opposite. I'll just be like, I really don't want to go to the party. I could just stay in.
Yeah. Well, I don't have FOMO, mostly. I guess there's some really good things that I'd like to go to, but I don't. But, like, generally, I don't really give a shit. I've had heaps of fun. I've had plenty of fun at my time at parties.
And yet, you don't have a happiest moment in your life.
Because they're all happy moments, Khayl. I'm a chirpy little fucking bird.
That's a good answer, actually.
I haven't had many, like, shitty moments. And even, like, I'm actually pretty good at handling really, like, down moments.
What's
like,
the worst breakup you've ever been through? Here we fucking go.
Well, we don't have to do this.
I think we do, actually.
I've broken up with one girl and been broken up with by two.
Mm-hmm.
And probably the ones when I got broken up with, both of them were pretty fucking gutting.
It's a bad feeling.
Oh yeah, nothing worse than feeling like that no one wants you.
They were just like, well, because it's literally someone being like, I don't want you.
Yep,
anymore.
essentially, yeah.
But you were okay for a little while, but now I feel like I don't want you anymore.
But in hindsight, most of it was like my fault.
Ah.
Like, I was weird and like I was, you know, like when you start dating someone, you really try and impress them and like,
yeah,
and you're not actually being yourself.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so that would usually happen, and then eventually, like, I think it was like reeking of desperation almost.
I try and not be myself all the way up until it's no longer possible to hide the fact.
Yeah, well, see, I'm kind of in the same boat now where, like, I'm not myself, but I just hide huge facets of my personality and then seep them out slowly, like a slow leak in your tire, you know? Like, it might take a week or so for that whole tire to go completely flat.
But once you get there, you're still going to be fucked.
Once you get there, you just got to deal with it. It's almost too late to turn back at that point. You just got to keep on going.
Just got to keep kegging. And speaking of kegging...
Until one day, you have to change the tire.
Oh, God. Which is actually when they break up with you.
Oh,
That's
no.
the metaphor. The metaphor is now complete. And if I could continue the metaphor for a second, Govinda, I'd like to change gear now, as it were.
Look, I'm really not liking this. Like, I'm the host, and I feel like it was actually up to me to change the gears. It'd be like you being in the passenger seat of my car and then changing gears for me. It just doesn't work.
I feel like I'm the driver, you're sort of a backseat driver, if I were to continue the metaphor. And furthermore, you're sort of like a leaky engine.
I have a problem with that because, like, when I allow you to host the PS podcast, I actually just allow you to host it. You know, I don't
you did
try and
give it up to me.
I don't try and do this to you. I don't try and hijack the podcast. I let you run the show how you want to run the show.
That is, of course, the PS podcast, Australia's #1 PlayStation podcast, hosted by us. Find us on iTunes. Just search GOK. That's GOK.
Also, 5-star reviews for both podcasts, please, would be awesome.
Oh, that's really awkward that you did that.
Oh, no. That's fucking meta as fuck.
That's actually...
no, then no one would have heard it. Don't even say it.
Right on.
So, Khayl, what's your next topic?
I want to talk about books, Govinda.
I don't read books.
I know, which is probably the problem. It's part of the problem.
Look, I get it, but we'll continue it. Like, finish your thought.
I'm a big reader.
I get this.
Yep, I've always loved books. I've loved escaping into them. Even before my love affair with the video games began, I've always been a big reader. And now, these days, I don't have so much time, but I'm really into audiobooks. I just wanted to talk about like maybe some of your favorite like fiction. I suppose we should keep it to books.
We can keep it to books. I don't have heaps to talk about in the book front because I don't read that much, honestly.
Yep.
But I've always said one of my favorite books that I've ever read. This is before the movie. I read it before the movie, but was Orson Scott Card's Ender's Game.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good stuff.
And then I found out that he was a pretty hardcore Republican who doesn't believe in gay marriage, and kind of turned me off a little bit. But the book itself is very good.
It is very good. I enjoyed.
I tried to read the second one, but this is my problem with books. I try to read books. I've started a lot of books, and so many times I'll either get like halfway, 3/4 of the way, and then I just stop. And then by the time I'm like, I should just finish this book. I get back to it. I pretty much don't know where I am, what's going on, and I just like, fuck.
It's kind of hard because we're used to video games kind of catching you up.
Yeah, catching you up, or also
TV shows like Last Week on The Walking Dead.
Or that it's not so important, the story, you know, like the big open world games are just like, there's a story there, but it's not crucial, and every time you go to another story mission, will reiterate what you're doing and why. Whereas with a book, you just get kind of thrown back into somewhere and you're like, fuck, what happened? Like, there's no previously on.
The really interesting thing about books is that it's just... I can't think of anything else where, like, you just have to read the book. There's nothing else you're doing. It takes all of your focus. I can't listen to music while I'm reading.
No. Unless, like, I can imagine listening to, like, instrumental music.
Yeah, definitely nothing with lyrics.
But no lyrics, that's too distracting. See, that's another problem, is I'll find myself reading a book, and I'll be like halfway down a page until I realize that I haven't even been paying attention. I've been thinking about things in my life that I need to do. And so then I just have to go back to the top of the page and try and read it again.
I do it even worse. Like, I'm looking at the book and I'll just blank out, and just like my eyes will suddenly be at the bottom of the page, but I've absorbed nothing. Yeah, I don't even know what I was thinking about.
Yeah, I do the same thing constantly. I'm like, what?
Whoa.
And then if I go into my head and like, what did I just read? I got to do that again.
It's interesting, but at the same time, like, it's probably the best medium. I feel like my imagination is so much better than anything I've ever seen on film.
Why do you feel so compelled to kill the environment one book at a time?
Because I think trees are overrated and so are humans.
I think humans are overrated.
Certainly overrated.
It's funny. We'll get into that at a later date.
Oh, are we going to get into
time? I have nothing against books except for like the huge waste of paper that they are.
Well, it's all going digital.
That's why if I read, like I started reading The Road. The Road's... Funnily enough, this actually goes into another topic that we'll talk about later as well.
Yeah, that's Cormac McCarthy's.
Cormac McCarthy's The Road. I actually was... It's written so beautifully. Like
it's so bleak.
It's so bleak, but the way, like
would you say
almost like the rhythm in which he writes?
Would you say Cormac's description of the end of the world was more or less eloquent than my description of the best, happiest moment of my life? Yes or no?
Sometimes. But I was reading The Road, but then again, like I haven't read a page of that for 2 weeks.
Yeah, fair. And you haven't finished it?
No, I've barely even scratched the surface. This is what I mean. I just cannot commit to it. And then it's not in my routine. You know what I mean?
I just find, like, books are the last source of originality. Like, even, like, that's why, like, movie studios just pick them up immediately. Like, a sick book comes out and they're like, well, we're making the fucking movie of it. Like, for example, big fan of this author. His name's Brandon Sanderson. He
sounds like a communist.
He's not a communist, as far as I know. His big claim to fame was there was this long-running fantasy series, Govinda, called The Wheel of Time.
Yeah, we're getting really close to USA as the Roman Empire.
This is fine. And so it's like a 13 book long series, highly beloved. The guy dies on book 11, and so this virtual
author,
the original author. And this virtual unknown, Brandon Sanderson, comes in and finishes it. And he did such a good job that his career's just sort of skyrocketed. And he had a few other series. There was one called Mistborn, which was really cool. And they're just like really imaginative. Mistborn was sort of about these assassins that would like the way they'd get magical powers is they would ingest different metals.